and welcome back to the Mompreneur Mentor YouTube channel. Today, I am super duper excited to introduce you to Mr. Bryan Rhodes. He is another Air Fryer Secrets co-author. Check out the playlist. We have tons of mini vlogs interviewing all of these authors, sharing their inspiring entrepreneurial stories and their business strategies, and a little sneak peek on their Air Fryer Secrets chapters. The book is launching soon. Don't forget to check the description box below for all the valid links. And thank you for being back on the channel. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, Bryan, thank you so much for being on the show today. Please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us all about you.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. So like you said, my name is Bryan Rhodes. I live in California. I'm a relative newcomer to the entrepreneurial journey. I've only been doing it for a few years now. Been doing it off and on for the last 10 years or so. And I'm really happy to be able to participate in this authoring or creating this book. It's got so many great authors, so much wisdom in it. I do business consulting, so I help individuals who are trying to start their own businesses. I help them with that process. I have an MBA, so I kind of know some of the ins and outs, the technical side of creating a business, the laws and stuff like that, and it can be pretty daunting. So, that's kind of my passion, is to help people, help them get started, help them to know what they need to do, and help kind of launch them to success. So that's really what I'm all about.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Bryan. And you guys, that is so important, okay? If you're just getting started, that is your foundation, and it's really easy to mess it up when you're totally new. You have an MBA. That is so interesting. Where's your MBA from?
So I got my MBA actually through University of Phoenix.
Nice.
It's funny. I got it by writing a couple essays and submitted for a scholarship. They actually gave it to me, so it was free. So I didn't turn my nose up at it.
Congratulations.
It was great. I learned a lot of good stuff, and I didn't have to pay for it. So even better.
Well, now we know, if you're out there and you want to get an MBA, they have a scholarship program at University of Phoenix. So
that's
how
right.
did you come about to actually meeting the man behind this big air fryer movement, Kevin Stephen Quinn? How'd you guys meet?
So when I was really getting going in this entrepreneurial journey, I, like so many people, stumbled upon ClickFunnels and the software, the platform, and just the awesome tool that it is. And they have a very active Facebook group, the ClickFunnels Facebook group. And I noticed that he was particularly active in this group. That's one thing about Kevin, is he's very engaged. And so, and I would notice him popping up all the time, and he would drop little nuggets of wisdom. And that's really what started, my journey following him. Was I started seeing all this wisdom he was dropping, all this knowledge. And I said, well, this is a guy that obviously knows what's going on. So I'm gonna kind of follow on, try to grab hold of his coattails and see where he's going. And then, one thing led to another, and then I actually signed up for his coaching program that he offered temporarily. And I don't know if he still offers it, because he's moved on to a lot, really big things now, and he's really involved in a lot of different projects. So I got to actually have some FaceTime with him, and he shared a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge with me that really helped propel me forward and helped give me confidence in myself. So it was really cool getting to interact with him on a one-to-one basis. It was really awesome.
I know. I love Kevin, and hearing all the co-authors' different ways that they met him. He is such a social butterfly and such a networker. That guy is great. And you guys, all the funny stories of how people met Kevin are in the Air Fryers playlist, so don't forget to check it out. So then, what is the title, the working title of your chapter, Bryan? Can you give us like a little breakdown of what your chapter is about in the Air Fryers book?
Sure, certainly. So, and I actually have the copy here, just to make sure that I don't miss anything. So the working title of the chapter is 9 to 5 Freedom: The Switch from Employee to Entrepreneur. And really what this chapter is about is just kind of honing in on the mindset behind becoming an entrepreneur and starting a business, which you know is real big. And any person who's getting involved with business or entrepreneurialism knows that it all starts there in your head. You build it in your head and then you bring it into the world. And so my chapter kind of dives into that, gives some tips and tricks on how to establish that mindset, and how to really get yourself switching from the employee mindset to the entrepreneur mindset. And so I kind of note in my book that sometimes when people get started with the business, they're still thinking from the perspective of an employee. They're treating it like a job, and it shouldn't be treated like a job. You're creating something, you're running it yourself, you're building something from the ground up. So you can't think of it in terms of an employee, because an employee, they have security, they have relative safety. Whereas as an entrepreneur, you're taking on the risk, you're taking on the responsibility. So switching gears. And one thing I bring in the book, the chapter, I mean, is that anybody could really do this. Anybody can. I kind of touch on some of the challenges I had, the mental challenges, mental impairments that I have myself, past childhood trauma, things like that, to really illustrate that regardless of where you come from, you can do this. You just go on the path, set your mind straight, and just be persistent, persevere, and you'll get there.
I was totally waiting for when am I going to meet the author who did mindset. So I'm really excited about this, because it is, they say it's cliche, but it is the most important foundational step. Absolutely. I too had childhood programming about, finances, about my self-worth and my ability to be successful, that I had to overcome. I actually used a lot of meditation techniques and affirmations to overcome that. And that whole poverty consciousness a lot of entrepreneurs talk about, it is a hurdle, and they have to get over that to reach their success. So mindset is really the 0 point of starting, you guys. So mompreneurs, entrepreneurs, everyone out there watching this, don't take mindset lightly. If you're not seeing success, you want to loop back and go, okay, wait a minute, this is probably a mindset problem, and you're just not quite aware or conscious of it yet. And start consuming, stuff like Bryan's content, and get into mindset and figure out what's out there on mindset. I do have a lot of mindset stuff on the channel, but I love hearing other people's, because everyone has a different take that's worked for them, because everyone has different backgrounds and things. And we do get a lot of moms that want to be in the mommy com and mompreneur community, and they really struggle with mindset, because especially as females, it's very different than males, and their money mindset, and they're the whole social stigma and whatnot. We're still, evolving out of that consciousness where we need a man to provide, or, oh no, it's okay if you go out there and you get it, and you can be a fierce, female founder. And I get a lot of moms who are like, I don't think I can do it. I'm struggling so hard, and, I'm on welfare. And I was on welfare, I came from nothing, and I had to pull myself up out of that. And it was so hard. So I just want to thank you for writing this chapter. It is so valuable. The work you're doing is so important.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
And that being said, so then what at the end of your mindset chapter is the offer? Can we get a little sneak peek?
A little sneak peek, absolutely. So I'm still working on putting the finishing touches on it. I wanted to make sure that it included as much, as value as possible. Really what it is, it's going to be an informational mini site. Going to have some videos. I'm recording some videos, providing information, because really what I want people to do is take what they've kind of gotten from the chapter, because you can't encapsulate everything in one chapter. We all, all the authors try to cram as much as they could into that chapter. And if we all try to put everything we know into it, it would be like 1,000,000 pages long, or something, like some huge number.
Yeah.
So kind of take what was in the chapter and segue it over into the site that's going to provide even more information, maybe go into more detail on some of the concepts I touched on in the chapter, provide some resources, things like that. Really just, I want to say it's going to supplement the chapter, but it's going to really build upon it. So that's really what I'm working on right now, finishing up And that's really what really what I'm trying to achieve, is really just to add on to what I've already provided, and kind of complement what all of the other authors are working on as well. So
I love that. That is awesome. Kudos to you. So we're going to put links in the description box below, you guys, so check that out. But also, just to let us know on a little verbal cue, where can our audience find you if they want to reach out, network with you, connect? Maybe they're struggling with mindset, maybe they want to talk, get social, or maybe they, you have services. Do you have services that you're helping coach people on mindset?
So yeah, I do provide one-on-one consulting with individuals. I do mindset consulting. Also, I do business startup consulting as well. And I'm still working on putting the finishing touches on professional site for that as well. But for me, the best way to connect with me, and I encourage everybody to do this, is to connect with me directly on Facebook. Because I like providing that one-on-one engagement. I feel like when you're able to connect with somebody one-on-one, it really helps build their confidence. It really shows that you care, and it builds value. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is really help people, show people that I really do care. So connect with me on Facebook. Bryan D. Rhodes, I believe, is my, if you go to facebook.com/Bryan D. Rhodes, you'll find me, and send me a friend request, drop me a message. I respond as soon as I can. But I really do love it. I really do love giving people advice and connecting with people. It's one of my passions.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough for being on the show. And you guys, don't forget, I just want to remind you, I know I've said it in all the Air Fryers videos, but all the proceeds are going to Operation Underground Railroad. This book, yes, it is a labor of love. It is charity work. And the link will be in the box below when it launches. So check back if the link isn't there yet. And check all the Air Fryer Secrets authors on the Air Fryer Secrets playlist, because they all have the most amazing stories. And I am so thankful for you coming on today and sharing your story with us, Bryan. Now, before we sign off, is there any one last piece of advice you might want to give our viewers before we go our parting ways?
Absolutely. One thing I like to, and I touched on this in the chapter, but what I really like to hone in on and really emphasize is that when you embark on this entrepreneurial journey, whether you're starting out or whether you're in the midst of it, it's all about persistence and consistency and believing in yourself, because there are going to be obstacles and challenges. There's no way around them. You're going to encounter things that may seem daunting. They may seem impossible, but there is no challenge that is impossible. It just may seem that way at first. So whether you have to take a step back, find a way around, find a way through, find a way above, you just got to keep at it. You got to keep on keeping on, because the ones that are successful in this journey are the ones that persist, and the ones that do the hard things and take on the challenges head on. They're the ones that eventually will get to where they want to be. So
I love that. Thank you for that knowledge and value bomb. And you know what? The word impossible itself, you guys, spells I'm possible. So don't give up. And honestly, you just got to find a way to do the hard stuff. And you'll just get through it.
That's right.
All those little seeds in the ground had to push through dirt and crud to get to the air and the sunlight. It's the same. So thank you again, Bryan. And guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that bell notification, because we've got a ton of amazing entrepreneurial, startup mompreneur content and all that fabulous stuff coming at you. Bye for now.